There's an expression in Italian that comes to mind, which goes, "Il mondo è bello perché vario," which means the world is beautiful because it's varied. Or I suppose in English it would be, the variety is the spice of life. And I guess every language and culture will have its equivalent. And it comes to mind because I'm really just becoming so aware, just becoming really aware of how, depending on what you read, what you watch, your childhood, where you live, what hobbies you have, what industry you work in, what country you're in, the friends that you have, how you socialize, do you drink, do you smoke, do you do psychedelics, do you not, like so many different, do you eat meat, do you not, there's just so many ingredients to our life that make us who we are. And that's amazing, and it's incredible, and it's stimulating, and yeah, it's always great to meet people who will introduce you to something new, whether it's new music or new food or a new idea or a book or a lesson they've learned from something hard that they've gone through. But it also forms our viewpoint of life and the world. And you realize that we're seeing the current world sometimes in completely different ways. So much so that it's becoming harder and harder to connect. At times there's a divide. Then there's some things that unite all of us, and I'll finish on that because that is really what I want to focus on more than ever. A lot of people are doing that. And maybe I'm naive, but I think regardless of what we believe and what we see, don't we all want that? Don't we all just want to come together? And don't we all recognize deep down inside how we're all connected? Doesn't matter what color, what creed, what political affiliation or sexual orientation. If you see another human being or another living creature to that matter, isn't there in pretty much all of us this natural and innate desire to help, to relieve suffering, to be able to just make it a little bit better if we can? And so it's been, and it will continue to be, it's not over yet. It's been really frustrating and really hard from any point of view, so I can only speak from mine, but I can imagine and empathize it's the same, with probably some friends and people that I know who don't share my viewpoints on life. I think we can all recognize how there is a big divide in the world, in society, in our own families even. And that's not a good thing. And united we stand, divided we fall. I've been putting those as hashtags on my posts on Facebook for quite a while now. But how do we unite if we don't see the same things? So I was really honored to participate in the first online conversation. Not so much a debate. Hopefully it will become a debate. Hopefully it will become something that we can discuss and talk, And so yeah, that online conversation, the whole point of it was, how can we bridge the gap? How can we bring people closer together so that we can all start realizing that we need to unite? And the great divide cannot be amongst the people, because those wishing to divide us are doing so with very clear intentions. Divide and conquer. So we need to start listening to each other. We really do. So if you have a friend or a family member who is being labeled as a conspiracy theorist, as crazy, as extremist, as a terrorist, as whatever label that the media and politicians are using, you may want to actually listen to them instead of making assumptions and judgments. Because what's at stake is pretty serious. And the last few weeks have been really intense from that point of view, from the point of view of people asking questions and people feeling that something isn't right. And then being in a social context where we're talking and there's groups of people with different viewpoints and confronting each other. And sometimes leading to quite heated debates about it. And it's really hard. But it's absolutely necessary. And we are not being encouraged to do that. And when we heard about and spoken about grassroots revolution for real change, real lasting change, this is what it's all about. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. The people that are uniting more and more and more. I just got goosebumps. That's a good sign. More and more. And taking action on a local level, whether it's in a social context, political context, whether it's empowering small businesses with common law, empowering individuals with common law. What is common law? I'm at the start of this journey and I am no authority to speak on it. There are other people who are incredibly well versed in it. I urge you to seek them out. And if you don't know who those people could be, seek out those crazy conspiracy theorist friends of yours. Chances are they know. There are so many things that we can do. And we need to do them. And each person has their skill set. And recognizing our own skill set is crucial. And it's beautiful and empowering and incredible. And so these last few weeks, where I have been witness to people waking up, people who've taken the waking up, taken all three of them waking up. I've seen tears being shed, veils being lifted, cognitive dissonance happening where it's like, wait a minute, hold on, but what about this and what about this? And then realizing that our worlds are really upside down. We've been sold a pack of lies about many, many, many things. It's a scary concept to entertain. But wouldn't you rather know the truth? Wouldn't you rather... Doesn't that annoy you? Two values I have held extremely dear to my heart, and that's honesty and courage. And they're intertwined. I know it annoys the hell out of me when I've been lied to. When I've been deceived. And we have been deceived. We, the people, have been deceived. And it's time that we put an end to this peacefully, with that beautiful intelligence that we have, with passion, but peacefully, with integrity and dignity. Enough is enough. There's a lot of people complying because they don't know what else to do. Put your head in the sand. Just keep on complying. Oh, it's not really quite clear what's happening. And yeah, I don't really want to be labeled a conspiracy theorist nutter. And no, I'm not going to align with those people talking about all sorts of crazy things that, no, they cannot possibly be real. What are people so attached to? You really that attached to a political party, to whether it's Democrats, Republicans, Conservatives? I mean, it's all theatre. I mean, we know that, right? It's all money and control. We know that. We always talk about this. always. But suddenly, since this medical crisis that we're living through, suddenly we're listening to the people that have always conned us. And we know that, it's all about who you know and giving this contract to one friend and another contract to another friend. It happens all over, right? It's part of human nature. We always help out those that are closest to us, I'm a musician. If I get a gig, of course I'm going to help out people that, A, have helped me out, and B, that are my friends. So when you put that in a political context, not talking about a gig. So I just went on a retreat. It was a very beautiful retreat. And it was one where, for sure, one person woke up in a very big way. But they'd been asking themselves questions. They'd been having doubts. And, it's just so empowering and so inspiring to see that if for one person who has that courage to say, oh my God, have we been lied to? Oh my God, I've been lied to. I've been led down the garden path, so much so that I did something that maybe was bad for my health, just thinking that I was doing something good, doing something to protect others, protect myself, to whatever it is, whatever justification, And for them to, God, it takes so much balls to do that. And this person, oh my God, incredible. And it's a long journey. It's not an easy journey. It's not a linear journey. It's a great cultural event. It's happening on a weekly basis, and it's got music, it's got spoken word, it's got poetry. And each week people are getting more and more confident to be able to share their truths, regardless of whether the audience is 100% all a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists, or if there's a mix of all different beautiful souls all coming together. And we've had some excellent conversations. Excellent conversations. And yeah, people are starting to admit, yeah, something isn't right. Something isn't right here. And I don't agree with people masking up their kids. I don't agree with coercion and people losing their jobs because they're making certain choices about their health. I don't agree with that. Yeah, that isn't right. That isn't right. That isn't right. It isn't. So I guess this is a video of encouragement, because things are moving, things are happening. But if you're still relying on somebody else to do the work for you, while you sit back and go, oh, well, I'm just going to, we need mass non-compliance and that's never going to happen. I've heard that. It's like, wow, no, it's not going to happen with that attitude. No, it certainly won't. But how about we change that? How about we say, hey, we need mass non-compliance. I'm not complying anymore. Because it only happens if each and every person individually says, I'm not complying anymore. I am not complying with tyranny. I'm not complying with this system. One rule for them, one rule for us. No, thank you. And we have reached a tipping point. There's quite a lot of videos out there talking about this, and they're very inspiring. And it was only a question of time. But again, if you're waiting for that tipping point to actually happen, for there to be this change that we've been waiting for, so that we can get rid of those who are corrupt, get rid of those who are laughing in our faces, and you're still not doing anything, then that tipping point, it will be like at the top of a fairground attraction, and we'll never actually go over the edge. I mean, yeah, you get a great view, you can suddenly see, right? But don't you want to be going somewhere? I think there's so much more that we can do. I know there's so much more that we can do. I'm seeing it on a daily basis of incredible people that I'm now privileged to call my friends. Each person, each small individual act. People are growing balls. That's what's happening. And it's great. It's great. People are, just blossoming. All of us. All of us. The minute that you think it's harder than it is. I remember the first few times I'd go into places without a mask a year ago, just a little over a year ago. I hardly wore masks. I never believed in them, as I explained in previous videos. But the first few times was pretty scary. Something as stupid as going in like this was scary. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be ridiculed. I didn't want to be rejected. All of these things. I was just like, oh God. Yeah, it could be easier. Just put it on. It's only, as somebody recently said, they said, what's the problem wearing a mask? There's only 10 minutes when you go into a shop. Is it? How come our kids are wearing them for 8 hours a day in classrooms? Are we meant to be protecting our kids? I think the recent text message from our health service on Boxing Day, of all days, Boxing Day, encouraging us to get the I don't know if that was very well received. It does feel like they're desperate. But more importantly, it's Christmas. And doesn't have to have meaning for everybody, but for some people, for a lot of people, it has meaning, has deep spiritual meaning. How dare they infiltrate that moment with a nationwide text, essentially coercing people, putting pressure on people to go and get an experimental. Can we just leave religion alone, please? It's rude, it's offensive, it's inappropriate. And I think a lot of people have realized that. And every time they overstep the mark, one more person goes, do you know what? I think I've had enough of this. No. You told us it was 3 weeks to flatten the curve. You told us it was all of the various different things they've been telling us. Are we free? Are we freer than we were 2 years ago? So coming to the end of this, how can we unite? That is what we need to do. How can we unite, even with people that we cannot be in the same room as anymore because, oh my God, their opinions are so different. But if we can still agree on how, even though our opinions are really different, we need to be able to find a way to communicate and we need to be able to find a way to unite. How can we do that? If you have any ideas, and please share them. If there are things happening wherever you are, and initiatives and groups and meetups, and you want people to know about them, let's be proactive about this. And how can we unite? Because I was saying at the beginning of this video, the one thing that unites all of us, regardless of where we come from and how we see the world, is love. Is the desire to be loved, is the desire to give our love. My favorite jazz standard, Nature Boy, is all about that. The greatest thing is just to love and be loved in return. Makes us feel good, makes me feel good. So, how can we unite in love? because we need to. We really need to now. And it's not because I think so. There is an agenda happening. We're not going to get our freedom back by sitting on the sofa and waiting for somebody else to defend our own freedom. If you want your freedom, you need to defend it. No one's going to defend it for you. And if you're not yet doing anything because you don't see, but you're listening, contact that crazy friend of yours or that family member that the media is telling you not to invite for Christmas because they're dirty or unhealthy or whatever else they're telling them. You find out, listen to them, ask them. No one's going to force you to believe anything, but if you don't ask, you'll never give yourself the chance. We can choose to put our energy either towards apathy, towards our enslavement, as we let them take away our freedoms and our power, or we can choose to put our energy towards freedom. So we can stop complaining and actually create this amazing world that's just waiting to be created. And it's already there in little pockets all over the place. It's incredible. Wouldn't it be amazing if that was the mainstream? Truly living in harmony with nature, a balance between work and life, a purpose to whatever work that you're doing so you don't have to be wishing for it to be Friday. Motivation to get up in the morning and know that, well, you have something unique to give to the world that no one else can give. Even if it's in the fact that you bake amazing cakes. Great. Who doesn't like cake? That person is going to love you. That is so much more important than somebody putting in data for a company that's making a shit ton of money and they're getting paid minimum wage. There are so many beautiful things in the world. And it's funny, I looked at this before I pressed record. This is probably backwards, isn't it? But it says, keep smiling because life is a beautiful thing and there is so much to smile about. So, how do we unite? The greatest thing is love. Let's put our energy to freedom and shine those smiles without covering them up. Here's to 2022.